If you've ever had issues making really flavorful chicken parmesan, or you're just looking for an amazing weeknight meal for family and friends, I'm gonna give you the keys and my take on an amazing chicken parmigiana recipe. What is happening, my homies? Chef Billy Parisi here, and I teach you techniques and recipes so that you can make absolutely anything homemade from scratch. Chicken Parmesan or chicken Parmigiana is very similar to cioppino in that Italian immigrants who settled here in the United States created a recipe based on one that is from their original country. In this case, it's Parmigiana di Melanzana, or essentially eggplant Parmesan. So essentially, the original eggplant Parmesan was adapted to chicken Parmesan, and I'm gonna give you my take, and I'm doing it in partnership with my good friends over at Bob's Red Mill. The first thing we need to do is pound out some chicken. So go ahead and add some chicken breasts right to a cutting board. We're first going to slice them in half widthwise, go right through the center there. We're gonna set them to the side on a plate. And now, like I said, pound these out. We wanna get them to about 1/4 inch to 1/3 inch thick. So add some plastic wrap right to your cutting board. Make sure it's completely flat, and then add those chicken breasts right over top. Fold the plastic wrap on top of those, and then using a mallet, what we're going to do is pound these out, like I said, until they're nice and thin. These should cook pretty quickly. Now that they're at that perfect consistency, we're gonna set them to the side either on a plate or a piece of parchment paper. Now, when it comes to making very flavorful chicken Parmesan, I see a lot of people struggle with this, so there are two ways to season up the chicken. We can either, one, season the chicken as it is right now in its state with salt and pepper on both sides, that'd be great, or we need to season the breading of each standard breading procedure, and this, to me, will make all the difference in the world, because what's the first bite you're taking of the chicken Parmesan? You're getting the breadcrumbs, the crust. That should be seasoned well so that the chicken tastes fantastic, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So to set up a standard breading procedure, the first thing we're gonna do is add some flour to a pan or a bowl if you have it. I'm of course gonna be using Bob's Red Mill all-purpose flour. Fantastic flour for all of your needs, whether it's baking or breading like this, it's amazing. Next, we're gonna season it up with some sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper, and then using a whisk or a fork, go ahead and mix all those ingredients. And in the next bowl or little pie tin like I'm using, I'm going to crack a few eggs. We're gonna add them right to the pan. I'm gonna be using 3 here. You may need 4, or if you wanna add in a little milk, that's totally fine as well. Likewise, we're gonna season this procedure as well with a little bit of sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper, and then whisk those eggs up just like you're making scrambled eggs, my friend, either with a fork or a whisk. And now for that last piece of the breading procedure, I'm going to be using breadcrumbs. You can use panko if you want, but traditionally, breadcrumbs is what it is. Add that to that pie tin or a bowl. Now we're gonna also season it up with some sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper, and then mix those ingredients until they are completely combined. So our standard breading procedure is set up. This is an incredibly classic technique that we're gonna be using, from the flour all the way to the eggs, and then finally, last but not least, the breadcrumbs. So to bread these up, go ahead and take your first chicken cutlet, and we are gonna dredge it in the flour. You do this to season it and also to help the egg wash stick, which is the next procedure. So once it's completely coated in flour, add it in the egg wash, submerge it, get it completely coated on all sides. Super important here, because that final step is going to be the breadcrumbs. Add it on there. You may need to sprinkle a little bit on the top, smash it in, push it in really, really well. You want this coated, completely coated. I know I keep saying that, on every square centimeter of this breaded chicken. Once it is, set it to the side on a sheet tray lined with parchment paper, and now it's time to start cooking. Head over to your cooktop, and in a large frying pan, we're gonna be adding in some oil. I'm gonna be using olive oil. You can certainly use things like canola or even vegetable oil. We're gonna take it up to 355 degrees, and if you don't have a thermometer, no problem. Just sprinkle a little bit of breadcrumbs in there. Once it begins to fry, you know you're at a good place. We're on medium heat here. Add in the chicken cutlets. You may need to cook them in batches like I do. I don't have a huge pan where I can cook all 4 of these. You're looking at 2.5 to 3 minutes per side for these to be a perfect golden brown. So after that amount of time, give them a flip. You see that it's absolutely gorgeous here, my friends. Finish cooking it for another 2.5 to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna set them to the side on a sheet tray lined with parchment paper, different from the one we were using before because before it was raw. And now we need to top off with a few more things. The chicken looks phenomenal, so set that to the side because we're gonna prep up a few other things, starting with some fontina cheese. Absolutely one of my favorites, so underrated. It's gonna be awesome on this chicken Parmesan. Make sure to grate it up really, really well and try your best not to eat some while you're doing this because it is that tasty. And then next, forget the shredded mozzarella. We are using a fresh mozzarella ball that we are going to slice pretty thin. One of these should cover all 4 of our chicken cutlets. Once that's sliced up, it's then time to assemble our chicken parmigiana. First, starting with a tomato sauce. I'm gonna be using my pomodoro sauce, which I made, and you can check out here. Incredibly simple, 5 ingredients, loaded with flavor, classic. It's gonna go excellent on this chicken parmesan. So spoon on a couple spoonfuls right over the chicken parm. Spread it out a little bit. And now to top off with our cheese, I'm first gonna add on the sliced mozzarella, followed up with sprinkling on some of the fontina. And then last but not least, this is chicken parmigiana, right? So let's add some Parmesan cheese, freshly grated all over the top, completely cover it. This thing should be cheesy and delicious. This looks fantastic, cannot wait. Going in the oven on 450 degrees. Gonna take in between 20 and 25 minutes for this to completely finish cooking. We're gonna be making this chicken parmigiana in under 1 hour. You may be able to get something that's pretty good in under 30 minutes, but you give me 1 hour and I'm going to blow your mind with how good you can make a home-cooked from scratch meal for your family and friends. That's right, I just need 30 more minutes and I promise you it will be worth it. Once the chicken parmigiana is done cooking, bring it out. You can see that cheese is bubbling. It's very lightly browned on top. This is amazing. We're gonna finish it off with a little bit of chiffonade, fresh basil. If you need to know what a chiffonade is, check out my video on knife cuts. If you don't have any basil, totally cool. You can sprinkle on some fresh chopped Italian flat leaf parsley. The chicken parmigiana is done. It smells glorious in here. Can't wait to get into it. You can eat it by itself or serve it up with a side, which would be incredibly traditional. You can check out how to make my creamy polenta recipe, super classical, amazing with this chicken parmesan. Or I still have a ton of homemade pasta left over, which I made in this video here if you want to learn how to do that. I've got some fettuccine noodles. I'm just gonna plate up using those, just tossed in a little bit of butter right on the plate. Next, add a slice of that chicken parmigiana, put it right on top or next to the noodles. Boom, absolutely gorgeous. So easy to make, 1 hour. That is it from start to finish to get an authentic Italian-American chicken parmigiana recipe. And you should absolutely check out my chicken cacciatore. It's also amazing, and I will catch you on that next video. Gosh, dang, is that good.